Hello and welcome back to another episode of Power Rangers Lore. Today we are going to talk about the Sword of Darkness. Now, as you can see, I'm doing a little thing of connecting all these little swords together because there's a lot of confusing ones, such as the Sword of Darkness, the Sword of Light, and the Power Sword, and the Sword of Power. A little confusing, and they had a lot of crossover where they were incorrectly referenced. Now, what is the Sword of Darkness? The Sword of Darkness is actually a weapon once belonging to none other than Zordon. How it was turned into the Sword of Darkness, or if it was called the Sword of Darkness before it was in the hands of Zordon, we don't know. But we know it once belonged to Zordon, but it was 10,000 years ago that he lost it before he was put into his little hyperbolic time chamber, essentially. And it was stolen by him by the Nasty Knight, who, after he defeated Zordon's soldiers in battle, he presented the sword to Rita as a prize and going, "Look at me, I've defeated the mighty Zordon." Now, this sword will not be seen again until it's shown in the 90s when the new Rangers are brought forth and the evil, brainwashed Tommy Oliver is made into the Green Ranger, none other than by Rita Repulsa. Now, he would be given the sword by her because he placed a spell on it. She placed a spell on it to control him. That is what the brainwashing comes in and is the key component of the entire spell. So, we would see something similar to this too when his evil version doppelganger in the Power Coinless universe is where he gives a little fraction of it to the Ranger Slayer Kimberly and uses the same technique to control her. Now, Tommy had earned the sword. At first, he had to defeat an entire squad of putties using his skills alone. Not hard because they are putties. You beat them up in normal, non-morph forms, apparently. So, that is the thing going on there. But he does pass the test and is receiving the sword. Now, armed with the Sword of Darkness, he is a powerhouse. It is Tommy Oliver. He goes toe-to-toe against 4 of the 5 Rangers and then transports Jason, the Red Ranger, into the Dark Dimension and shows off his skills, beats the crap out of Jason, nearly killing him, and essentially he basically beats the crap out of him. He even unmorphs Jason in the Dark Dimension and then is about to basically cut him down, but Jason is saved by none other than by Billy, who manages to teleport Jason back to the command center. For his failure in not being able to kill a Ranger, though Goldar has failed many times before then, Goldar instructs Tommy to stay in the Dark Dimension until Rita needs him again, where he basically trains with the sword and becomes even better, supposedly. Now, they go on next to destroy the Zords. Rita goes, "You know what, you're so powerful, we have the advantage, let's destroy the greatest weapon." So basically, Rita makes him as big as a Zord, not turning him into a Zord, but basically makes her monster grow and turns a giant Power Ranger into the ultimate fighting weapon. Now, he is also working with Goldar and Scorpina, and the 3 basically destroy the Megazord and eject the Rangers into the battle, which then they plummet to Earth, and the battle continues again. Well, this is where it gets a little near the end of the storyline for the Sword of Darkness, as basically Zordon comes back, is able to free and re-empower the Zords, and basically Tommy is given his Dragon Zord and uses the Sword of Darkness in one final battle against Jason in an epic duel. Jason defeats Tommy by knocking the sword out of his hands with a charged Power Sword. This is people start getting confused what the Power Sword is. The Power Sword is none other than the Red Ranger's sword. Now, what is more powerful, we don't know, but in this instance, the Power Sword, fully charged, is able to basically destroy and vaporize the Sword of Darkness with the Blade Blaster, freeing Tommy from Rita's evil spell. Now, we would see the return of this blade in the episode of Mutant Rangers, when the Mutant Rangers are brought back wielded by a green Mutant Ranger. Now, who are the Mutant Rangers? They are putties that were given dark forms, essentially, and I believe this is in the same series of where Lord Zed comes back, but I'm not certain. I gotta recheck that up there. but essentially he is wielding a Sword of Darkness. Now, is it the Sword of Darkness? I doubt it. I think it's just a copy of it, because they are basically just copies of the Rangers themselves in their heightened forms, and they're all the other things are able to summon their weapons as well. So I think just fake copies. Now, everything going on there, we know that is supposedly Zordon later claims in another episode known as the Green Dream episode that the Sword of Power is forged out of the fragments of the Sword of Darkness, but it also later claims to be the Sword of Darkness itself, just reconstituted. Now, I don't know for certain, but I think it's probably just reforged out of the shards. I like that better because you can't, once the sword's broken, you can't really do much with the sword. You have to basically grind it all down, return it to its base metals, and go from there. And I want to say it's born out of the fragments of it. It's not reconstituted because this thing was destroyed, broken in half. Now, cool little tidbits we gotta know here. The original name of the sword in the Sentai version is Devil's Sword Hellsfried. Yes, Hellsfried. Devil's Sword Hellsfried. I think that is the most badass name I've ever heard for a sword. But hey, we got Sword of Darkness. In comparison, it's kind of lame. So, that was the main little tidbit there going on that. So, what did you guys think? I actually want to see more of the Sword of Darkness. I believe it's shown in the artwork of the comic book where Zordon in the past, thousands of years before the war, before Rita rises up as a basic force of darkness. I have to go back and check the comics itself, but it is not hinted in any of the Wikipedia pages and stuff like this, and there's no sword that looks very similar to the current form of the Sword of Darkness with the curved scimitar-like blade. I don't know. Let me know if I'm wrong. Let me know if I'm right. I hope to see you guys soon. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe, and hit that bell if you want to know more. We'll be producing videos, so many more, putting on these little tidbits here and there as the weeks keep going. Thank you very much, guys. You guys have a good one. Bye. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe at the end of this video. All your likes help me out, and all your watchers do too. Thank you very much, guys. I would really like to discuss with you guys what your topics are. May the power protect you always.